Here's my quick review for How to Train Your Dragon Part 3, or How to Train Your Dragon The Hidden World. Why did they give this one a subtitle? I'm going to go through a couple things I loved and a couple things I thought they could have done a little better for this film. First up, let's start with the positive. The animation in this film is breathtaking. It's astounding. It's one of the best looking animated films ever made. My second point is I wish they would have pushed the envelope a little and gone a little more dark and a little more serious in a few places. But it is a kids' film, so I understand that they wanted to keep it more positive in a lot of areas and not go as sad. But I was a little surprised because if you've seen the second one, you know that they went to that serious place, that sadder place a few times in that film. And I was hoping that they would continue that here. But they kept it a little more light in some areas that I would have gone more serious. Not a huge complaint, but still something that I felt like took away from the narrative strength of this piece. My third point is probably my biggest criticism for the film, and that's the use of the side characters. In How to Train Your Dragon 2, they introduced a couple new characters that had pretty prominent roles. Hiccup's mom, and then this dragon hunter. And both characters, they kind of set the stage to become key roles, key players in this world. But in this movie, they kind of let those two fall by the wayside a lot. They don't have a lot of screen time. The focus for the main characters in this third movie is turned back towards all Hiccup's classmates, the kids he grew up with. In the first one, that worked because a lot of the film took place around them doing these tests and learning to become true Vikings. But the second film turned away from that, so it feels a little strange going back to that. It feels a little regressive, and that we're not giving certain characters that had been kind of built up to be bigger deals, we weren't giving them their due. My last point is something that I absolutely loved what they did, and I'm going to call it here mirror storytelling. In the first film, you have Hiccup and Toothless, and they're really established as two characters that kind of mirror each other's journeys. Toothless is injured and is an outcast and loses part of his tail, so he becomes kind of handicapped. Hiccup's this outcast who doesn't go by the rules and ends up becoming handicapped as well. So there's a very strong mirror story. In the second film, it continues that mirror in different ways, and in this third film, it really brings this home to a beautiful conclusion. Looking back, these movies are really about Hiccup and Toothless and their parallel journeys. Another thing this film did very well is the references. A lot of times with sequels, reimaginings, reboots, they reference what came before, and a lot of times it's on the nose or too obvious, in your face. This film manages the perfect subtlety. So overall, this is probably my least favorite of the How to Train Your Dragon movies, but I would still recommend it. I still think it's a fantastic film, a great conclusion, creating a fantastic trilogy. I mean, if I was giving out like letter grades for these films, I would say the first one and the second one both get A's. This one like a B or a B+. So absolutely worth your time. Go see it and enjoy How to Train Your Dragon Part 3.